Welcome to Sweethearts or Rivals. I'm Charla.
I'm Justin.
What's on our table today?
Sky Traders.
Sky Traders is a game that's for 2 to 5 players. They recommend ages 14 and up, and it could take 2 to 4 hours to play.
2 to 4 hours. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yep.
Well, we're just doing 2.
Yeah.
So this video that we're going to do here is a little bit of an overview.
Yep.
With how to play.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll be links up there on the screen for the full playthrough and the review.
Yep. Excellent. Let me switch the cameras around.
And then we'll set it up.
See what's in the box.
Yep. We've got these rules.
Rulebook.
And all these little player boards.
We have a whole bunch of tiles for the board. The figureheads of the main characters. Wanted tokens, dice, and player markers. We've got barrels of every commodity in the game. An ill-wind deck. A whole bunch of damage cards and cards for upgrades for your ship. Sliders for the market. And money.
Money. There, we'll set it up.
Yep.
And we'll see what we have here.
Alright, so we have Sky Traders set up. We've got all of our money. Wanted tokens here. These are all the upgrades you can get. This is our damage deck. This is the guild influence track where we both are at 0 because we have no influence right now. The commodities exchange where everything starts off with the sliders as far to the left as possible. So everything is at its lowest price. This is my ship, the Flying Rooster. And this is my figure, Pig Chan. We start off with 10 phlogiston, and you have 3 dice in your color. And for a 2-player game, you're actually going to have a set of 2 other player character colors. And this is going to be important for the commodities exchange. So I'm going with the blue. I will be rolling for the negative.
And I have the red for myself.
Yep.
So I have the Costly Endeavor for my ship, and it's commanded by Captain Mangold.
Nice.
And yellow will be the dice I'll roll for positive.
Good. So we got to shuffle the Ill Winds deck, and then the Trader's Day goes somewhere in the middle. And then that one will be ready.
Okay. Let's say right about there.
Sure. And the Ill Winds deck is ready. Now, you'll notice that there is no board. And that is because it is a modular board made with these. So you shuffle these up, you pass them out to all the players, and everyone looks at them and tries to see who has the volcano. And that would be me, which means I'm going to go first. And I'm going to place down the volcano. Done.
Okay, so it's got to go. There's brown brackets here.
Yep.
So a red bracket has to touch.
Yep.
So luckily, I don't have many of them, but I do have red brackets.
And the only other rules for setting up the board are the gates. There's 2 gates. They cannot touch the volcano. And the 2 gates have to be 5 tiles away from each other. Other than that, as long as it's red to brown and brown to red, we're good. Alright, so now we've created our board. Our resources are all out. We started off with 10 phlogiston, which is what we use to kind of fly with. We each start off with 20 bucks. There you go.
Thanks.
We both start off with a Skyman.
And the Skyman can fit in the holds of 4, 5, or 6.
Yep.
Put him in the 6.
Mine's a number 4. Good enough. And then you roll a die to see what city you're going to start in. Starting at number 6.
I'm in number 4. So 4 is the purple, the wine.
And 6 is the jewels, right there. There we go. And now we are set up for Sky Traders.
So what is Sky Traders about?
So in Sky Traders, we are Sky Traders. We have these nice airships, and it's a little bit of pickup and delivery, mixed with a little bit of combat, a little bit of wheeling and dealing and negotiation. And the whole idea is to manipulate the commodities exchange of the things that you are picking up to deliver so that you can buy low, sell high, get money any way you can in order to spend it on getting influence in the Sky Guild. And that's basically what the game is about, is the first person to get to 50
It's the winner.
Yeah, becomes the new head of the Sky Guild and wins.
Right.
Yep. In a round, when it's your turn, the first thing you do is you have to take an ill winds card. So it's like an event deck. And you have to figure out what happens there. Resolve the effect. Sometimes they're good, most of the time they're bad. Once you've done that, then the next thing you can do is you can fly. And flying is very interesting. If you go 1, 2, or 3 spaces, it's going to cost you 1 phlogiston per space. If you decide to go 4 spaces, it costs you 5 phlogiston instead of 4. And if you decide to go 5 spaces, it costs all 10 of your phlogiston.
That's crazy talk.
Yeah. So that like one last step costs you like half of your reserve. Crazy. After you move, the next phase is you can dump stuff. So you can dump crew, you can dump cargo. If you dump sludge and you're over a city, you immediately become wanted because sludge is bad. But you can just dump stuff. After you've done that, then you have a choice. You can either, if you're in a city, you can do a trade action. And a trade action allows you to buy and sell all the kind of stuff that you have here. You can also pick up sludge from a city to get rid of it. Anything you want to do in the city for just buying and selling, basically you're
Yeah. New
import
crew
and doing stuff.
or repairs as well.
Yep. If you're in a city and you don't want to do a trade action, you can do a mining for minerals, which means you just kind of go out there and look for minerals outside of the city. You roll 2 dice, and that's how many of the class 1 minerals goods you get. If you happen to roll doubles, you get a level 6 jewels good as well.
Yeah.
Which is nice. But you can't do both. You have to do one or the other if you're in a city. On any tile at all, if you don't want to get minerals or do a trade action, you can mine the clouds for phlogiston. So it's free, you roll 1 die, and that's how much phlogiston you manage to get out of the sky. If you happen to be on the phlogiston geyser, you get to roll 2 dice, which is nice.
Nice.
So a free way to get fuel. And finally, the fourth option in that last phase is to do battle. You can attack another Sky Trader who happens to be on the same space as you. Combat is fairly straightforward. You announce whether or not you're going to be using any of your crew to modify the rolls, and then you roll a die. Whoever has the highest roll wins. If you take damage, you have to flip over one of these damage cards, and there's light, medium, and heavy damage. And then you roll a d6 to see which one of your holds gets damaged. So the only difference between the three different kinds of damage is just more expensive to fix medium or heavy damage as compared to light. Let's say Charlotte beat me up and she rolled hold number 4 was the one that got damaged. That's where my Skyman is.
He falls out.
Yep, he's gone. So anything in a hold that's damaged is gone. If all 6 of your holds get destroyed, your ship falls from the sky. Your round is over. At the beginning of your next turn, you get your ship back. You get all the starting stuff that you started off at the beginning of the game. Insurance will then pay you half the money you lost. And if you had no money, insurance does this weird thing where it goes to all the other players and says, give this guy some charity, and you have to give him $10.
Right.
Yeah. So that's interesting. You can do like insurance scams. Then it's the next player's turn. After both people have gone, or if you're playing with more people, after everyone is gone, then you go into the market phase. The market phase is very interesting. What you do first of all is everyone rolls their dice, and the numbers are going to be the commodities that they're going to affect. So 4 is going to affect wine. A 2 would affect the food, and 3 would affect the textiles. So that's what I would roll. Charlotte would roll her dice, and then we would immediately have a negotiation phase where we would say, I would really like wine to go up in price because I have some wine. You rolled a 3 or a 4. I rolled a 4. What's it going to cost for me to get you to put your die on the positive along with mine? And you negotiate. You try to get the dice so that the market shifts the way you want it to, without it shifting the way your opponent wants it to. At least not without you getting some kind of benefit from it. In a 2-player game, before we actually roll those dice, I roll 3 dice, and it affects all of these negatively. And then Charlotte's going to roll her 3 yellow dice, and these are going to affect all of these in a positive way.
And you have to keep an eye out because there's only so many dice you can allow in each spot.
Yep.
So for the 1 and 2, it's 4. 3 and 4 have 3. And 5 and 6 only have 2 dice.
Yep.
These 2 spots are already filled up.
Yep. So right now, if we roll our dice and we get any 5s, it can't be used for anything. Both those sections are filled. But we would roll our dice, and then we would decide where they're going to go after negotiating. And then once all the dice are placed, then what you do is you see where everything shifts. So for the minerals, there's 2 positive, 2 negative, it stays the same. For the food, there's 1 negative, which means it should shift to the left. But it's already as far as it can go left, which means it actually bounces back the other way. So putting a 2 in the negative causes food to actually go up in price. 3 has nothing, 4 has 2 in the positive, so it's going to go up 2. 5 stays the same, and 6 is going to go up 1. Once that's done, then you look at the total. There is more dice on the positive side than the negative side, which means sludge goes up 1 space. If there was more dice on the left-hand side, it would go down 1. And then you look at how many dice. So we got 5 over here, and then we've got 7 over here. So there's 2 extra dice on the positive side, which means the black market goods go up 2. And this is going to happen at the end of every round. Things are going to shift, and that's how you buy low and try to sell high.
And there's a little bit to consider when you're trying to manipulate the market. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. And it's a unique mechanism of manipulating the market because you have a lot of choices and a lot of negotiation, but there's that opening rolling the dice to see what happens. And then you got to work with whatever you got to work with.
What happens, yeah.
Yep. So we do the commodities. Everything shifts. Whoever is the current first player actually then rolls 2 more dice. 1 for positive, which means there is a demand for 1 good, and it's going to go up 1. And the other one's going to be negative because there's a surplus. So again, 2 more things that randomly are out of our control within the market. Market's finished. The last thing we do is you spend your money that you've been making on influence. There are 3 tracks within the track. Starting off are the blue spots, and those are $5 a spot. So you got to spend $5 each spot you want to go up. Once you get past 28 and into 29, the yellow are $10 each. And they're more expensive because once you're in there, once you've rolled your dice, whoops, actually before you roll your dice, you take one of them and you switch it to anything you want it to, and then you roll your other 2. Once you get to 45, the red spots are $15 each. And once you've gotten into the red, before you roll your dice, you take 2 of them and put them to whatever result you want and just roll the other one. So the influence gives you control over the marketplace.
Right.
Because you have your fingers in lots of pies.
Mm-hmm. I like pie.
Yep. After that, first player switches and you play another round. As soon as you get to 50, that person wins. So it is possible at the end of the game for both players or all the players to reach that 50 at the same time. If that happens, the tiebreaker is you take any goods left over in your holds, you convert them to cash, and then whoever has the most cash left over after buying influence, they're the winner.
Right.
If there's still a tie after that, you share the victory. And that is how you set up and play Sky Traders.
Mm-hmm. So now we're going to play the game, so we'll make another video.
Yep.
And we'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for watching. Laters.
I forgot to say it was by Fantasy Flight Games again.
Yep.